Welcome back to the deep dive. We've got your sources here, and today we're diving straight into a situation that really demands focus, a crisis unfolding in the Philippines.
Yeah.
We're looking at a magnitude 7.4 earthquake, a subsequent and pretty terrifying tsunami warning. Our goal here is to unpack this whole thing, the immediate risks, the actions taken, and, the bigger picture our sources give us about why this region is so, well, active.
Yeah, this is a stark reminder, isn't it? We're seeing disaster response play out in real time in an incredibly volatile area. It demands immediate vigilance, constant readiness.
Okay, let's start with the core event.
Yeah.
Magnitude 7.4 earthquake strikes off the Philippine coast. That number itself, 7.4, that's significant power. But looking at the timeline in these reports, the sequence is really interesting. You'd think the main quake triggered everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the sources are quite specific. The really urgent tsunami warning, the one that got everyone moving on the coast, that was apparently triggered by a powerful aftershock.
Exactly. And that detail is crucial. It's not just academic.
Right, what does that change?
Well, think about the mechanics. A big 7.4 quake can be deep, cause widespread shaking, but an aftershock, especially if it's shallower or if it involves a strong vertical movement near the ocean floor, that's much more efficient at pushing water upwards.
Ah, so it's better at actually making a tsunami wave.
Precisely, especially a near-field tsunami, one that hits close by very quickly. If the aftershock was the trigger, it means the warning time authorities had was basically zero, almost instantaneous.
Which leads us straight to the official response.
Yeah.
FIVOLCS, that's the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, they issued the warning immediately. What was the message? Speed must have been everything.
Absolutely. The message was stark, unambiguous: evacuate to higher ground now. Especially for residents right there on the coast facing the epicenter. When you're dealing with a potential near-field tsunami, waves could hit in, say, less than 30 minutes. You just don't have time for detailed modeling or, refining predictions. Life safety comes first. Get people moving.
And the initial reports paint a picture of, well, chaos.
Yeah.
Right, strong tremors felt widely.
Widespread shaking.
And early indications of damage. Buckling roads, maybe some buildings affected. And then the communication networks just get slammed.
Yeah, that communication bottleneck, it happens almost immediately.
What does that actually look like on the ground for the people trying to manage the evacuation?
It's like a system overload all at once. Cell towers might be damaged or just overwhelmed by everyone trying to call at the same time. Internet goes down. And the official alert systems, sirens, public address systems, maybe text alerts, if any part of that chain fails, people in the danger zone might not get the word.
So a lack of information becomes a huge problem itself.
A massive hurdle. If you can't confirm damage reports quickly, or you can't reliably tell people where to go or confirm they got the message, it paralyzes the response. It's hard to know where to send help first.
Okay, so FIVOLCS has to be fast, but also specific. They pointed to particular coastal areas for evacuation. How do they make those calls so quickly? Are they guessing?
Not guessing, but making very rapid calculations. They use the real-time data from that aftershock, its location, its depth, its magnitude, and feed it into pre-existing models. These models factor in the local bathymetry, the shape of the seafloor, and coastal elevation. Some areas are just naturally more vulnerable to tsunami waves, amplifying as they come ashore.
So they're targeting the highest risk zones first.
Exactly. It tries to prevent unnecessary panic further inland, directing the immediate effort where it's most needed. But it does create a coordination challenge.
What kind of challenge?
Well, it's about getting that specific warning out effectively. Local governments have to activate their own localized plans. Sirens need to sound in the right places. Emergency teams need to move to the right areas. This link between the National Science Agency issuing the warning and the town mayor or the village leader actually getting people out the door, that coordination needs to be seamless. And doing that during an earthquake's aftermath, it's incredibly difficult.
And the sources stress this isn't over quickly. They say the situation remains dynamic and dangerous. If people have evacuated, what's the ongoing threat?
It's mainly two things. First, more aftershocks are almost certain. They'll continue for days, maybe weeks. And even smaller ones can damage buildings already weakened by the main 7.4 quake. Bridges, water pipes, things like that might fail later, making recovery harder.
And the second thing?
Continuous monitoring. Scientists have to keep watching sea level gauges, buoys, everything. They need to confirm if a dangerous wave was actually generated, if it has passed, or if maybe there are secondary waves, reflections, things like that. It's a constant watch.
This really brings us to preparedness, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The government emphasizes it. When something hits this fast, triggered by an aftershock with no warning time, preparation isn't just advice, it's critical. What were residents expected to do?
Exactly. Preparation here means before the crisis hits, you have zero time to plan when the shaking starts and the siren goes off. So residents are expected, really required, to know two things ahead of time.
Which are
Your evacuation route, the safest way to get to high ground from your home or workplace. And second, having your emergency kit ready to go, your go bag.
that kit with water, food, medicine. It sounds basic, but you're saying it's non-negotiable?
Absolutely paramount. Because in that immediate chaos after a 7.4 event and a tsunami warning, complex logistics just break down. You can't assume you'll be able to find clean water or get a specific prescription filled. You need the essentials with you. It's not about packing. It's about grabbing that pre-packed bag and running.
So it's about removing variables, making the immediate survival step as simple as possible. Let's zoom out a bit. The Philippines. Why is it constantly facing these kinds of events?
It's pure geology, really. The Philippines is right in the heart of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Think of it like a giant horseshoe shape around the Pacific Ocean, about 25,000 miles long, where most of the world's earthquakes and volcanic eruptions happen. The country basically sits where several tectonic plates are crashing into each other. The Philippine Sea Plate is sliding under the Eurasian Plate. That process is called subduction. And this sliding, this subduction, it's not smooth, it's sticky. Pressure builds up over years, decades, and then suddenly the rock breaks. That sudden break, that release of energy along the fault line, that's the earthquake. A 7.4 magnitude event is a huge rupture.
So powerful quakes are just part of the landscape, an unavoidable reality.
Pretty much. Frequent, powerful seismic events are baked into the geography. It's not an anomaly, it's the norm for this region.
And knowing that, the sources mention the country has invested in disaster preparedness programs. Do these programs make a real difference against something this big?
Oh, they absolutely save lives, no question. Having evacuation protocols, public awareness campaigns, drills, these things mean that the kind of coordination we were talking about between FIVOLCs and local teams is even possible. Without them, it would be far worse.
But they can't stop the ground shaking.
Exactly. They mitigate the human cost, but not the physical damage. The sources are clear. Even with preparation, an event of this magnitude is a significant challenge. It's going to require huge recovery efforts, rebuilding infrastructure, supporting communities, dealing with the economic fallout. It highlights a tough reality. You prepare people to survive the event, but the underlying geology guarantees that rebuilding roads, hospitals, homes, it's a constant ongoing cost. Resilience isn't a destination you reach. It's a continuous cycle of preparing, responding, and rebuilding.
That's a really stark way to put it. Okay, let's try and boil this down for you, the listener. Some key takeaways from this deep dive. First, that critical point. The immediate life-threatening tsunami warning wasn't from the main 7.4 quake itself, but from the aftershock. This really underlines how dangerous these secondary events can be, forcing that instant reaction from FIVOLCs.
Second, the response itself shows just how narrow the margin for error is with near-field tsunamis. Success comes down to those systems working perfectly, almost instantly local sirens sounding, people knowing their pre-planned routes, and somehow overcoming that communication breakdown right at the start.
And third, preparedness. It's not just about helpful tips, it's a fundamental necessity because of the Ring of Fire geography. Knowing your route and having that basic emergency kit ready isn't optional when a crisis gives you literally seconds, not minutes, to react.
And reflecting on this, it really drives home the sheer complexity of coordinating such a response. You've got scientists miles away trying to interpret seismic signals and predict wave heights. You've got local officials trying to trigger sirens maybe while the ground is still shaking. It shows that while preparation definitely helps manage the danger, the relentless reality of the Ring of Fire means you can never really let your guard down. Vigilance has to be constant.
Absolutely. And thinking about those extensive recovery efforts, the sources mention rebuilding, stabilizing lives. Here's something for you to consider. In a place constantly facing this unavoidable threat from the Ring of Fire, what kind of long-term investments offer the best resilience? Is it pouring money into stronger buildings and seawalls that might withstand the shaking and the waves? Or is it maybe more about investing in robust social networks and community programs that allow people to support themselves immediately when, inevitably, the official communication lines go dead? Where's the smarter bet for long-term survival?